Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and in tonight's movie review, I'm going to be doing a movie review on the new DreamWorks animated movie me and Dad saw earlier today at Regal, and that's going to be on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is directed by Joel Crawford, who previously directed the 2020 DreamWorks animated film The Croods: A New Age. And so this movie, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, is basically played out as like both a standalone and direct sequel to the original Puss in Boots movie from 2011, which I recently rewatched on YouTube for free with advertisements. And yeah. So in this movie, we follow Puss in Boots as he discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll when he has burned through 8 of his lives. Like eight of his 9 lives. So throughout the movie, Puss in Boots sets out on an epic journey to find the last wish, of course, to find like the shooting star, like the magic shooting star, and to restore his 9 lives. And of course, Puss in Boots teams up with Kitty Softpaws, and of course a dog named Perot, and yeah. And then, of course, they're also being tracked down by Goldie, of course, and the 3 bears, and then, and of course, Jack Horner as well, and a bunch of other, fairy tale creatures and all that stuff. And even Puss in Boots is also being tracked down by this wolf known as Death. And, yeah. So, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, when I went to see, When I went to see trailers for this movie in front of other showings at Regal, my dad actually thought it looked pretty funny from the trailers, and this movie was pretty funny. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, it had some pretty funny humor here and there, but then I first learned that at a film festival, the first 30 minutes of the movie were actually shown at a film festival, and even people even noted that this movie's actually a lot more serious and dark compared to its predecessor, and I can definitely see how this movie is actually played out as more dark and serious compared to its predecessor, like compared to the first movie, and even the animation style itself is the animation is very spectacular, because it's just like how DreamWorks did it with their other film, which came out earlier this year in April, The Bad Guys. That the animation is actually played out as both a style of hand-drawn and computer animation at the same time. It's like how DreamWorks animation actually got inspired by Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse to create their animation style in the form of a form of hand-drawn and computer animation at the same time, almost like a comic book or a painting. Yeah, and it's DreamWorks Animation sure has been on a roll this year for their movies, because The Bad Guys ended up being very good, and of course this movie was awesome. Yeah, and even the action too, the action is very stylized, and even the voice acting performances are still well done as well. I think Antonio Banderas is still a really great Puss in Boots. Salma Hayek is still a great Kitty Softpaws. Florence Pugh from the Olivia Wilde film Don't Worry, Darling. Florence Pugh actually plays Goldie in the film, and I thought, because Goldie's actually short for Goldilocks, and I thought Florence Pugh did a pretty good job in this film. And Harvey Gillian is actually the guy who plays Perot the dog in this film. I thought Perot I thought was pretty funny in this film. I thought he cracked me up. Yeah. And yeah, and it's pretty much everyone else that did a good job in this film. And even Joel Crawford, I gotta say, Joel Crawford actually did a pretty good job directing this film. I still have not seen his other DreamWorks animated film he directed that came out 2 years ago in 2020, Croods: A New Age. I still have not watched Croods: A New Age, but whatever. And I gotta say, the executive producers for this movie were actually Andrew Adamson, who directed the first 2 Shreks, and Chris Meledandri from Illumination. Chris Meledandri is actually one of the executive producers for this movie. Yeah. And I thought Chris Meledandri actually did a pretty good job executive producing this film. Chris Meledandri. and I can't wait to see what he comes up for. Like, cannot wait to see the Mario movie next year. Yeah, because that's gonna be Chris Meledandri's next Illumination movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie. And speaking of Mario, that was actually one of the previews I got during my theatrical showing at Regal for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The others I got were Jesus Revolution, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Yep, I got 4 previews. And there you have it. And yeah, and what I also like about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, what I also really like about the film is that it had it basically had not only some stylized spectacular animation style, but I also got to say that the story too I think is very interesting too, like the story itself, and it's basically played out as a direct / standalone sequel. I mean, this movie was originally going to be I think the original story for this movie was actually in a different route, of course, because this was actually before DreamWorks removed the Puss in Boots sequel from its release schedule, all the way up until they came up with a new story for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And Mark Swift was actually the producer for this movie, and yeah, pretty much all the producers did a good job in this film, and even the music too. The music score I think is very good too. It's so cool and spectacular and amazing, and even the sound designs between the music and the sound designs, it basically gives you that cinematic feel. I was just sitting in my recliner seat, giving, and it basically gives me the cinematic chills and feels. Yeah, and also, the new DreamWorks Animation logo. DreamWorks Animation just updated their logo. That was just uploaded on YouTube here. Yeah, and of course all other social media platforms. And I gotta say, the new DreamWorks Animation logo is actually very nice. It's like how they added characters from their franchises, including their other new movie, The Bad Guys. They included The Bad Guys, and then How to Train Your Dragon, The Boss Baby, Trolls, Kung Fu Panda, and Shrek. One popular franchise that DreamWorks did not add in their new logo was actually Madagascar, which I don't really blame them for not forgetting. I don't really blame them for forgetting to add Madagascar into their new logo. But don't get me wrong, guys. I still don't hate the Madagascar franchise. It's I still think it's a good franchise, but I just think Shrek is a better DreamWorks franchise in my opinion. But the Madagascar franchise, it's still a good franchise. That's the best way I can describe the Madagascar films. They're good. But yeah. But I think it's very nice how the new DreamWorks Animation logo included the bad guys at the beginning. The bad guys, and even the music fanfare in the logo is actually like a more reorchestrated version of the DreamWorks Animation fanfare, which kind of sounds like the Shrek music by Harry Gregson Williams and John Powell. And it's basically like a reorchestrated version of the original DreamWorks Animation fanfare from 2004 to 2017. Yeah. So aside from all that, overall, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was an awesome movie, and I'm gonna give Puss in Boots: The Last Wish 4.5 out of 5 stars. And by out of 10, I would rate this movie 9.5 out of 10. And there you go, guys. So that's going to be it for my movie review on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying, goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.